vigils in almost 200 towns and cities across the country right now to confront corruption and demand democracy, because we are fed up with what we're seeing coming out of this building right here and with the man that lives here. And we are fired up, and we are going to do something about it.
Yes, we are.
So we're going to officially get started with the agenda in just a few minutes. We're waiting for a few more of our speakers to get here.
Take your time.
But we're going to do some chants. We're going to let the crowd grow a little bit more. And we're going to let the people in this building know that we are out here and we are going to hold them accountable.
November.
Because Trump is not above the law. Trump is not above the law. Above the law. Trump is not 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 above the law. That's right. So we've got a lot of great speakers tonight. I hope folks in the back can hear us okay. We've got 7 members of Congress. We've got a few senators. We've got some representatives. They're going to be talking to us about the very important work that they're doing to hold this administration accountable and advance a democracy that represents the people of the United States.
Not corporations.
Not corporations. All of us, of, by, and for the people. That's a big theme of tonight's event. We want to confront corruption and address that in its many forms. But we also want to demand democracy and create a system that represents all of us, not the privileged and the powerful. So before we get into all that, Akene's going to lead us on some chants. Let's do it, Akene.
All right, we got a couple chant sheets around here, but I bet y'all know most of these. So let's hear this. My name's Akene, public citizen. Glad to be part of this big coalition of people. When democracy is under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back. When special counsel is under attack, what do? When Robert Mueller is under attack, what do? When rule of law is under attack, what do? When the right to vote is under attack, what do? When fair districts are under attack, what do? When fair elections are under attack, what do? When whistleblowers are under attack, what do? When election security is under attack, what do? When balance of power is under attack, what do? What do? What do? What do? Who is above the law? Is Trump above the law? Nobody's above the law. 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 Right. Woo! One more.
All right.
Law and order for who? Always us, never for you. Law and order for who? Never for you. Law and order for who? Always us, never for you. Law and order for who? Always us, never for you. Woo! We're gonna do this. We're gonna start off with some music here. We have the DC Labor Chorus and Vasu Abhiraman, who's a soloist for All Souls Church, and they're gonna sing us Alice's song, and then we'll do a democracy song. Come on up.
All right. My name is Vasu, and this is the DC Labor Chorus. We're going to start us off with a song here, and it's going to be a modified version of Ella's song, which are the words of Ella Baker, popularized by Sweet Honey in the Rock. Those words are, "We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes." All right? So if you could join with us on the chorus, that would be great. But then the modified lyrics are, we who believe in democracy cannot rest. We who believe in democracy cannot rest as it's attacked. Yeah. All right? You'll pick up on the tune. You'll pick up on the words. Join in if you can. All right? Ready?
Yes, yes, yes.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Until the killing of black men, black mothers' sons is as important as the killing of white men, white mothers' sons. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in democracy cannot rest. We who believe in democracy cannot rest as it's attacked. Democracies can crumble when corruption eats away. Foundations once felt strong enough may not be here to stay. When the press is vilified, that leaves it undermined. Freedoms we take for granted won't last if truth is redefined. Everyone, we who believe in democracy cannot rest. We who believe in democracy cannot rest as it's attacked. Hateful talk and rallies incite the dark side of the mind. Thoughtfulness and reason must not be left behind. Our president likes dictators, threatens those who oppose. We need voices strong and loud to defeat democracy's foes. We who believe in democracy cannot rest. We who believe in democracy cannot rest as it's attacked. One more time. We who believe in democracy cannot rest. We who believe in democracy cannot rest as it's attacked. Thank you. We got a couple more for you later.
All right. Woo! Thank you so much. That was awesome. Woo! We are all in the house tonight. Thank you so much for coming out. My name is Corinne Jean-Pierre. I'm with Move On. With each passing day of the Trump administration, the corruption, the concern around collusion, and the violations of democratic principles grow more alarming every day. This is why today we are holding vigils here and across the country, in 200 other cities across the country. Sharing the same message to say we need to confront corruption, defend democracy. Tonight we are going to hear from organization leaders and members of Congress on the importance of holding Trump and Republicans who fail to take action accountable.
Put them all out. All of them. Including Mark Meadows. Put Mark Meadows out.
All right now. All right.
Vote them out.
Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them Vote them out. We demand Congress protect the independent Mueller investigation.
Yeah.
And we demand that Congress say no to any lifetime appointments while Trump and his team are under investigation.
No hearing.
No hearing, no lifetime appointments.
Amen.
It's clearer than ever that Trump won't defend Americans from Russia's attacks. So now it's critical to show up and take action.
Yeah.
So what do we need to do? We need to stand up, fight back. 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 Stand up, fight back.
Fight back! Woo! So I'm Lisa Gilbert here with Public Citizen. We are here today to face corruption, stand it up in the face, and demand a better democracy. We've got a president who believes he is above the law, and that is the end product of years of American corruption, from big money in politics to the degradation of voting rights to attacks on the rule of law. Our president is under active investigation for collusion and obstruction of justice. And in the wake of the Putin-Trump meeting in Helsinki, where he publicly said that he believes Putin more than he believes our own intelligence community, the need for the investigation. Shame. 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 So the need for the Mueller investigation is more clear than ever. But so is the need to fix the ongoing problem of corruption. Our culture of corruption blocks progress on issues that matter in people's lives: access to well-paying jobs, affordable health care, clean air and water. And because of all this, we are standing here together tonight as are 200 other vigils nationwide. And we're doing it to demand solutions. They exist. So we demand a democracy with the freedom to vote and have that vote counted.
That's right.
We demand a democracy that is honest. We demand a democracy with meaningful participation. We demand a democracy with transparency into our government and our elections. And we demand a government that is responsive to all of us. So we are standing here in solidarity, and we have a great lineup of speakers to tell us more.
All right, hello everyone again. My name's Rio Tazwa with People for the American Way. Millions of people across the country have taken action to get to the bottom of what is happening in this country and stand up for democracy and confront corruption. We at People for the American Way work with a broad network of coalition partners, groups like Move On, Common Cause, Public Citizen, Stand Up America, Daily Kos, Center for American Progress. The list goes on and on. We've built a broad and diverse coalition of organizations that represent millions of people who are concerned about the future of this country and want to stand up and create a better democracy. We've gathered millions of petition signatures calling on Congress to get to the bottom of what happened in 2016, to protect Special Counsel Mueller and make sure that he's allowed to continue with his work. We've driven hundreds of thousands of phone calls into Congress, in particular about a specific piece of legislation, the Special Counsel Independence and Integrity Act, which would protect Mueller and give him some cover and prevent Trump from unilaterally firing him. There are actual solutions that we can be advocating for in this broad coalition that's responsible for tonight's event, and the events that are happening all across the country are working to mobilize people in support of these solutions so that Trump doesn't do something completely drastic and fire Mueller and put us into a real constitutional crisis. We're already in unprecedented territory, but that would take it way into the extreme. But if he does do that, and we will not put it past him that he would not, because clearly he's unpredictable. If he does do that, we will be ready, because for almost a year now, we've been organizing in anticipation of him crossing one of these red lines, like firing Mueller or Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General that oversees Mueller's work, or tries to pardon himself or one of his family members, we'll be ready, and we will take to the streets. We've already organized. We've already organized rallies. Yeah, we've already organized rallies all across the country. Some of you might be aware. If you MoveOn.org, many of the groups that are a part of tonight's event have helped organize over 1,000 different rallies at TrumpIsNotAboveTheLaw.org. We've got over 400,000 people, almost 400,000 people that have pre-registered to attend these events if and when Trump takes some drastic action. So if you have not yet signed up for one of these events, please go to TrumpIsNotAboveTheLaw.org and pre-register so that we can show that if he does take this drastic action and cross one of these red lines, that we will take to the streets. And we will not accept this. We will ensure that there is rule of law in this country, and we will demand accountability. We will demand accountability, because that's what the United States is about, the rule of law. So one last thing that this event is about, speaking of the rule of law, some of you may have heard there's a Supreme Court opening right now, and he has nominated someone that is horrible. Judge Kavanaugh is absolutely on the wrong side of so many issues that are near and dear to us. Women's rights, LGBT rights, immigrant rights, the environment, health care, a woman's right to choose. So many important issues that are critically essential to our way of life and the well-being of so many people in this country. But not just that is he battling all of these issues. He has gone on record to say that he thinks that a president is essentially above the law. Boo! No, we can't accept that. We can't accept that. Judge Kavanaugh has said that he thinks that presidents shouldn't even be investigated. So we need to make sure during these hearings that he is questioned about this and recuses himself, if he does get on the court, from any hearings or any cases regarding Trump, whether it's a subpoena or prosecution. He needs to recuse himself. So everyone, call your senators, tell them to take a hard-line stance on Judge Kavanaugh and stop Kavanaugh. I've got one chant about Kavanaugh. It goes like this. Hell no, Kavanaugh, Trump is not above the law. Hell no, Kavanaugh, Trump is not above the law. Hell no, Kavanaugh, Trump is not above the law. Hell no, Kavanaugh, Trump is not above the law. All right, we're going to get to our first speaker. Trump is not above the law. That's right, that's right. We want to be respectful of people's time, so we're going to get on with our speaking agenda. First up, we've got Senator Sheldon Whitehouse from Rhode Island, an outspoken champion on so many issues. I'd like to welcome to the stage Sheldon Whitehouse.
Thank you, Rio. It is great to be with everybody. I am happy to see you, and I am here to report to you from the U.S. Senate that a very small group of very large special interests has seized functional control of Congress. One particular special interest, the fossil fuel industry, has seized virtually complete control over the Republican Party. Today's Republican Party is, in essence, the political wing of the fossil fuel industry. Those big polluters don't just pollute our air and pollute our water and pollute our climate. They are polluting our politics. And the big polluters are not alone in their power. The pharmaceutical industry has the same power and uses it to block any effort to get reasonable drug prices. The drug industry, the gun industry has the same power and uses it to block any reasonable effort at gun safety. The problem of corporate power is now out of control. The power to the corporations to have this control was given to these industries by 5 Republicans on the Supreme Court in the disgraceful Citizens United decision. And it's not enough It's not enough for them that Citizens United unleashed floods of unlimited special interest money. Now it's floods of unlimited special interest dark money. Dark money. We don't even know who they are. And behind the dark money is the worst part of all of it, which is the silent threat, the silent promise to bombard you with dark money. And those silent threats and promises are always going to be corrupting and are always going to be secret. We have got to clean this up. When Americans of all political persuasions and parties believe that their voices no longer matter in Congress, that belief, my friends, is factual. We are living in a new age of corruption, unprecedented since Teddy Roosevelt broke the power of the great corporate trusts and cartels more than 100 years ago. We need now in America a gentle revolution to cleanse our politics of this taint, and the place to start is to end the power of dark money. So, thank you for being here as patriots to restore control of our American democracy back to the American people. We are in a historic battle, and we must not fail. And we will not flag or fail. We will stay with it through November. We will make the difference, and we will bring our country back. Is that not right? All right, go get them. Thank you.
Vote them out! 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 Okay. Vote them out! Vote them out! Vote them out! Next up, we have Representative Mark Pocan from Wisconsin's 2nd Congressional District.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, let's thank all the progressive organizations who put together the over 200 rallies for our democracy tonight. Let's hear it for those groups. We are all here because we are worried about our country. The amount of corruption from this president and this Republican Congress is unprecedented. The person who has the temporary occupancy permit in the building behind us promised to drain the swamp. Instead, he's dredged it deeper, brought in new swamp creatures, and built a high-rise luxury condo on top of an even bigger swamp.
That's right. That's right.
From corrupt White House officials like traveling Tom Price and Scott Pruitt, who, by the way, wins the award for weirdest corruption, wanting a used mattress from the Trump Hotel, to sweetheart deals for the Trump family from foreign governments, potentially in violation of the Emoluments Clause. This is the most corrupt White House I can remember. And it's not just the transactional way that Donald Trump runs the White House and Republicans run Congress. It's the corrupt nature of the relationship between other governments and the Trump administration. Who would have ever written a novel as crazy as to think of a U.S. president fighting with his allies in Canada and Germany, but buddying up to brutal dictators like Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin? Who would have ever thought it was possible that the day of the summit, when people Google Trump-Putin summit, the #1 word that came up was treason? And Donald Trump refuses to shore up our elections to protect our country from future fraud.
Treason, 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 treason,
And while all this disarray was going on, the person Donald Trump nominates for the Supreme Court happens to be the one person who's publicly said you shouldn't go legally after a sitting president. But it's even more real than just the levels of personal gain and political corruption. This president and this Congress also passed a giant unfunded tax break to their donors, members of Mar-a-Lago, and the biggest banks and corporations in this nation. You just can't make this up. You only wish it was made up. But we have a relief valve: the November elections. If you care about our democracy, we need to elect people who will hold the powerful accountable and protect our democratic institutions. We need to get out and vote for reform. Can you do that? It is our power to do this. It's our country, our democracy. Let's protect it and restore it in November. Let's get out and vote. Thank you.
Vote them out! Vote them out! All right. So now I am thrilled to introduce Senator Dick Blumenthal from Connecticut, a true champion on democracy.
Hi, everyone. I am Richard Blumenthal from the great state of Connecticut, and I am proud to be here with you tonight with a number of colleagues to say to Donald Trump, this is what America looks like. This is what democracy looks like, in case you've forgotten. How sad and ashamed and embarrassed we all were on Monday to see Donald Trump, instead of putting America first, blaming America first, blaming everyone except himself and Vladimir Putin. So, to Donald Trump, we ought to say, you are not above the law. You are not above the law, and you can't appoint a Supreme Court justice who will put you above the law. And you cannot intimidate or threaten or fire a special counsel who is investigating you to hold you accountable for breaking the law. Now, let me tell you one way that Donald Trump is most assuredly breaking the law. Right down the street. Right down the street at his hotel. He is taking payments and benefits from foreign governments without permission from anyone, let alone Congress, violating the Constitution of the United States. And that's why I and Jerry Nadler are helping to lead an effort in the courts, and it's called Blumenthal Nadler versus Trump. And this fall on the ballot will be the names of Congress candidates who should be, whether they're congressmen or candidates, Blumenthal, Nadler, and whoever it is, against Trump. We are fighting Trump this November, no matter who is on the ballot. Now, as a member of the Judiciary Committee, I want to say a word about Brett Kavanaugh. He has written that the president should be able to fire the special counsel for any reason or no reason at all. He has said that the president should be able to refuse to enforce the law, even when it's been upheld by the courts. He would put Donald Trump above the law. And we are going to fight that appointment. And let me just say, even more seriously, you know, he would roll back this country to a time when women were punished for seeking to decide when they wanted to have children. The government was allowed into examining rooms and bedrooms, in effect, by trampling over reproductive rights of women. We are not going back to that time. We are not going to allow a candidate who was vetted and screened by far-right fringe groups and met the Trump litmus test to become a justice on the United States Supreme Court. We're going to fight him every inch of the way. Now, one last point. This is way more serious than a single justice. It's way more serious than even Donald Trump. It is about the future of America. We are at a historic time. There was a sign that said, "The red light is blinking." The red light is blinking for democracy right now. We are at a pre-9/11 moment. We must stand up and stand up and stand up and that's what we're going to do this November and the next election in 2020. And we are going to do what? Vote them out. Thank you.
Vote them out! 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 All right, I would like to invite our next speaker, Senator Jeff Merkley from the great state of Oregon.
We the people are the power. 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 You know, your voice is carrying right to the White House. But unfortunately, they've got the windows closed, they've got the doors closed, and this president believes that powerful corporations, the wealthy, the well-connected, the powerful, and the privileged are in charge. How about instead the people are in charge? Yes. That's the vision of our Constitution. The people. It's not we, the powerful, first three words. What are the first three words? We the people. We the people. What do you think when you have a man like this say that we're going to go down and we are going to tear children out of the arms of their parents? So let's take that energy. Let's take on this president. It's a dark and evil place when you inflict trauma on children to send a political message. So let's send a message of our own. Let's send it right up there. It's time to leave the White House and put the people in charge.
Impeach 45! Impeach 45! Impeach 45! Impeach 45! Impeach 45! Impeach 45! Impeach 45!
Now I can tell you this. The president, he had a list of 25 potential nominees from that secretive Federalist Society. Now, they don't believe in we the people. But who did he pick off that list out of the 25? The one nominee who believes that a president should never be indicted. The one nominee. The one nominee who even thinks that the president should never even be investigated. The one nominee who believes that if there is a special counsel, it should be the president who chooses him and the president who can fire him. So here is the situation. The president is trying to print himself a get-out-of-jail-free card. Are we going to let him have that card? No! Hell no, we're not. That's why we're fighting Kavanaugh. And we are facing profound, deep corruption. Yes, we are. Corruption through gerrymandering. It should be the Democrats in charge of the House right now. Corruption through voter suppression. If you believe in our Constitution, you believe in voter empowerment, not voter suppression. Corruption through dirty money, Citizens United like a sound system, drowning out the voice of the people. Well, here's this. How about we the people drown out the sound system produced by Citizens United?
Yes, sir.
We know that we have to take action, and we have said resist. We have said persist. But how about if we say this? Resist, persist, vote.
Yes.
Resist, persist, vote. Resist, persist, vote. Resist, persist, vote. Thank you all. Bless you all. Let's go into battle.
Woo! All right. Next up is Representative John Sarbanes from the great state of Maryland.
All right. Can you hear me back there? Welcome, defenders of democracy. Welcome, defenders of democracy. You are a beautiful sight. Mr. President, why will you not protect our democracy? Why will you not defend our democracy? Bob Mueller hands down an indictment of 12 military intelligence officials from Russia, saying that they invaded our elections, they meddled in our democracy. Just a few days later, our president shows up in Helsinki with an opportunity to defend our democracy, to say to Vladimir Putin, we will not let you interfere in our election. But what did he do instead? He capitulated to Vladimir Putin. Why won't you defend our democracy, Donald Trump? If you won't defend it, we will. We will defend our democracy. We will protect Bob Mueller.
Yes, we will. Yes, sir, John. Come on, man.
It's our Justice Department.
That's right.
It belongs to the people of the United States. It doesn't belong to Donald Trump. We will protect Bob Mueller.
Yes, we
We will clean up this government.
Yes,
We will make our democracy resilient. Here's the truth. Our president isn't just letting our democracy be attacked from the outside. He's attacking it from the inside. He's allowing the special interest to corrupt our government and our Congress in Washington, D.C. Scott Pruitt captured, answering to the oil and gas industry instead of to our environment. Steve Mnuchin carrying water for Wall Street.
Resign, Mnuchin.
Special interest agenda, and Trump's at the top of the pile. He's invading and undermining our democracy from the inside. Ethical blindness of a kind we have never seen. Crossing every single boundary there is. If he won't protect our democracy, we will. We will. Fight corruption, demand democracy. Fight corruption, demand democracy. Fight corruption, demand democracy. And if we can get that gavel back in the fall,
Yes, we will get. Yes.
we've got a plan.
Got to.
We're going to empower the American voter.
Yes, sir.
We're going to fix partisan gerrymandering in America. We're going to strengthen the Voting Rights Act. We're going to make it easier, not harder, for people to vote in America. We're going to clean up ethics. We're going to create transparency and accountability. We're going to get the president's tax return. And we're going to fight big money tooth and nail.
Yes, sir.
Get rid of Citizens United. Disclose the secret money. Create citizen-owned elections in America. We can do this. Fight corruption.
November 6th.
Demand democracy. Fight corruption. Demand democracy. We can demand democracy. Defend democracy. Lift up democracy. I see the gavel on the hill, and we can get the gavel. Together we're marching to get the gavel. We can do this. It's your vote. It's your voice. And in November, it will be your victory. Let's go get
All right, it will be our victory. And with that, over to Mike Capuano from Massachusetts.
Pretty much every issue has been already uttered. But let's do it again.
Why not?
Collusion.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Election fraud.
Yes.
Election rigging.
Yes.
Voting rights.
Yes.
Civil rights.
Yes.
Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
Me Too.
Yes.
And that's just the beginning. That's before he took office. The appointment of pretty much every secretary he could find was about as bad as he could get. Corruption across the board.
Yes, sir.
Personal enrichment across the board.
That's right.
And what do we get?
Nothing.
Weaker environmental laws.
That's right.
A horrendous tax deal that gave us nothing and gave the wealthiest people more than they could ever dream.
They lied to us. They lied to us.
And on and on and on.
Liars.
When everything's said and done, we can rally all day long. We can cry about it all day long. We can scream about it all day long. Only one thing will change this. Vote! 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 I've always believed there are more of us than there are of those people.
Yes, there are. Yes, there are.
I have to admit, though, a lot of my friends have been disillusioned, have hung their heads down, and decided it can't be fixed.
It can't be fixed.
They're wrong.
They're wrong.
It can be fixed, and we are going to fix
Yes,
it.
we are. We're mobilized. Everywhere.
And we're not going to do it for any other reason than we love America.
Yes, we do. That's right. That's right.
We love the vision of America,
Yes, we do.
the promise of America, that all of us should have a fair
Everybody.
shot at a decent future.
Yes, sir.
If people across this country understand their power, understand that their voice is just as loud as anybody else's voice,
Yes.
and understands that no one should get between me and that voting booth,
Yes, sir.
because when everything's said and done, elections do matter.
Elections have consequences.
You know that.
Yes.
That's why you're here.
That's right.
We need to spread that word wide and far. To all of our friends who have given up, to all of our friends who are disappointed,
Yeah.
here's my answer. You're right. Do something about it.
We're going to do it now. Yes, sir.
Vote. 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 Vote.
All right. So, quick announcement. This is a candlelit vigil, so we've got some volunteers going through the crowd right now, passing out candles. If you brought your own, now would be a great time to light it. We also had some folks out distributing electronic photos, so if you have one of those, go ahead and turn it on. It's getting dark. All right, looks great, looks great. Next, I'd like to welcome to the stage Congressman Jerry Nadler from New York.
Congressman. All right, all right. You go, Jerry. You man. You man, Jerry. You man.
Thank you. 100.
I can hold it for you. Fine.
No.
I got it.
150 years ago, Abraham Lincoln said that this country was conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. All men and women, not all corporations. In 1830, Andrew Jackson broke the money power. 80 years later, Teddy Roosevelt started doing it again. But now we have a situation where democracy is panting on the floor.
Yes, it is.
Where the corporations, because of Citizens United, have tremendous power. Where 95% of all the economic gains in the last 30 years go to the top 1% of the population. Where for the first time in American history, people do not believe that their children will live as well as they do. This is a crisis. It is a crisis of governance. It is a crisis because some of our governors believe the government belongs to them, not to us. The occupants of the White House are temporary tenants.
Yes, they are.
They are not owners,
That's
but
right.
they behave as if they're owners. And the Republicans in Congress behave as if they are owners and handmaidens of the big corporations. We must take this democracy back. We must take it back from the overwhelming power of corporations so that the people, again, truly rule. We must take it back so that people can vote and laws can be written in our own interests.
Yes, sir.
We must take it back so that government is not used for purely corrupt purposes, so that the president doesn't enrich himself through emoluments from foreign governments, so that government decisions are not made based on the highest campaign donations.
All right. That's right.
The song America the Beautiful, oh beautiful for spacious skies, one of these verses, I don't know them all by heart, but one of the verses ends by saying, confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law. In law, liberty can only be guaranteed by law. Law can only be guaranteed by the voters.
That's right.
This is our project.
Yes, sir.
This is our country. This is a country for our future, and we cannot let the thieves and the corrupt people in the White House and the corporate suites steal it from us. So we must vote in November. We must vote in November. We must vote in November. We must protect our liberty. We must protect the right of our government, the right of our people to govern ourselves, so that government of the people, by the people, and for the people lives and flourishes for all of us. Thank you.
Vote them out! 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 Vote them out!
All right, those candles look amazing. Light them up, light them up. Next up, from the Leadership Conference is Alan Brooks LaSure.
Vote them out! 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 Vote them out!
Vote them out.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Alan Brooks LaSure with the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights.
Right.
We're a coalition that fights to protect and defend civil and human rights for all people in the United States. And we believe that we need a country as good as its ideals. Now, I must say, as a former American diplomat, I was disgusted by the display of our president on Monday. I've represented our country in foreign nations, and I must say, to see the President of the United States of America standing next to our adversary and our foe with that disgusting, dishonorable, and disgraceful behavior, it infuriated me.
It's embarrassing. Shame, 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 shame.
Shame, 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 shame. Now, Trump's grotesque display of affection for Vladimir Putin, it shocked the world, and it shamed the American people. But we have to remember, while we're watching the news and President Trump holding hands with Putin, his friends down in Congress are plotting, they're strategizing, and they're working on the confirmation of a Supreme Court nominee who believes that the president is above the law.
He's a nominee that believes the president cannot face criminal indictment. Trump is not above the law. 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 Brett Kavanaugh believes that the president, he can override any judge or jury. He believes that secret foreign money belongs in our election, so that makes two of them. And by all accounts, Brett Kavanaugh would defend corruption, maybe even collusion. And let's be honest, where there's smoke in this administration, there is fire. And that's why tonight we demand the release of the estimated 1 million documents on Kavanaugh's record. We need the truth about him. We need to know what he's been writing. We need to know his views before he ascends to our nation's highest court. Republicans will say that that's untenable, and we heard from Chairman Grassley earlier today. But we say hiding 1 million documents is unconscionable and un-American. Make no mistake, a Trump takeover of the Supreme Court means a Trump takeover of the entire government. All three branches will be in the pockets not just of Trump, but of the wealthy and powerful, and we can't have it. You know, the Washington Post has a tagline. It tells us that democracy dies in darkness. But unfortunately, they've been trying to kill our democracy in broad daylight. They've been killing it at press conferences, killing it at rallies, killing it at cabinet meetings. But we, the people, will not allow it. We, the people, will not stand for it, and we, the people, are going to fight. Thank you.
Amazing to look out and see this vigil, see these candles standing in solidarity for democracy. So I'm thrilled to pass the mic to Karen Hobart Flynn, my good friend and president of Common Cause.
Hey there, can you hear me back there? And why did you say that? Can you hear me? I say no. My name is Karen Hobart Flynn, and I'm president of Common Cause. And our 1.2 million members who stand up every day for democracy in congressional districts across the country. And those people know that when our founding fathers gave birth to this nation, the three most important words they spoke were "we the people." We the people. We the people. We the people. We the people. Why do they say it? Because we have the ultimate power in our democracy. The White House, the Supreme Court, Congress does not matter. We matter. Yes. We the people have the power. We the people. We the people. Have the power. We the people. Have the power. The people have the power. We the people have the power. We the people have the power. No monarch, no oligarch, no tyrant, no two-bit con artist can rule this country. That includes Mr. Putin as well. Only the people, only we can. We give power to those we elect, but they represent us. That's right. They represent us. And it's the people who need to reclaim our democracy. You know, I know that this has been a really tough 2 years. Our democracy is being tested like it has never been tested before. We are bombarded with tweets and lies from the White House, breaking news, bad news every day, and a feeling like this country is running off the rails. And the President of the United States is running roughshod over our laws, our values, and our democratic institutions.
Lock him up!
Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock him up! The problem is not just Trump and his administration. The problem is that we have a complicit leadership, Republican leadership in Congress, who have ignored the scandals, who have ignored, he will not turn over his tax forms. They have attacked the Mueller investigation.
Coward!
They have been moving voter suppression tactics to block people from voting. They are bringing back dark money in IRS rules that they drop when we're paying attention to Putin and Russia. And they want to keep that money secret, and who is behind it? They've passed tax packages that benefit the wealthy and corporations at the expense of the people.
Vote him out! Vote him out!
Let's get rid of them. They're weakening our environmental laws, our consumer protection laws. They are running roughshod and benefiting the corporate wealthy who are getting something in return for their giving. One of the amazing things, though, is that our resolve is strengthening. We are seeing people take to the streets. Yes. We are seeing people get involved like they never have before. And that is the only thing that's going to make a difference. Right. The truth is, it's not just about voting. Democracy is an everyday activity. Yes. It is about the laws we pass to break down barriers that block our voices in our politics. We have to fight. We have to hold state legislators, members of Congress, the Supreme Court accountable to us, the people. So it is important. These reforms are coming from the bottom up. There are reforms passing at the state and local level that are taking on gerrymandering, secret money, putting in place voting reforms that allow more people to have their voices heard. And so we need to remember, this isn't just about Election Day on 2018 or 2020. It is about all of us getting involved every single day. Every day. We, the people, have the power. 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 People have the power. And when we all get involved, we will prevail.
Vote them out! 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 All right, next up, we have James Lamont from Center for American Progress.
Thank you, thank you. Look at you guys, this is great. So my name is James Lamont from the Center for American Progress. I work on the Moscow Project. And we're a project dedicated to all things Trump-Russia collusion. And I'd like to talk to you a little bit tonight about Trump's relationship with Mr. Vladimir Putin. I think the events over the past couple of days, we've seen them from Brussels. The event, so sorry about that, folks in the back. Can you hear me now? All right. Just yell. All right. So I think the events over the past couple of days, we've been able to see. This goes from. This.
They're not going to be able to hear it. It's too big of a crowd. It's a good problem.
All right, good problem. So I think we've seen over the past couple of days that there have been from Brussels to London to Helsinki and now here in Washington, Donald Trump has proven time and time again that he is pursuing the interests of Vladimir Putin over the interests of the United States. This is something that I don't think any of us have seen in our lifetime, the President of the United States was sitting there subservient to the KGB agent in the Kremlin.
Embarrassing.
Why was he doing this? Well, this is what Mueller's looking into, right, folks?
Yeah.
Here's a few things that we do know, right? We do know that Trump's campaign manager is going on trial next week on charges including conspiracy against the United States. We know that Trump's national security advisor has already pled guilty on charges related to the Russia probe. We know that there have been 82 contacts between the Trump campaign and transition and Russian operatives out of the Kremlin. And every single one of those meetings were lied about and covered up by those involved. What are they hiding? That's what we want to know. Trump's accomplices, the Republicans in Congress, need to step up, and we need to make clear Trump is not above the law. 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 Trump is not above the law.
Trump is not above the law. Trump is not above the law. All right, so taking us home, we've got Delvon Michael at the Working Families Party.
All right, what's up, DC? Hey. Lock him up! 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 All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out. My name is Delvon Michael. I'm with the Working Families Party. But I want to make sure that we don't forget why we're actually here tonight. And that is the fight, the corruption that's in the White House.
Yes.
And the corruption that's perpetrating and penetrating our democracy.
Right.
I'm not an elected official, so I can give it to you straight.
Go ahead and give it to us straight.
The fact of the matter is that we have a treasonous, treacherous tyrant in the White House who is overseeing a criminal enterprise. And Frederick Douglass said it best: the limits of tyranny is the endurance of those that are oppressed. And I'm here with you tonight to say that we've had enough. We're not going to take it anymore, and we're going to take our democracy back. And the way we take our democracy back can't be top down. It's got to be bottom up. So that means all those folks on Facebook, all those folks walking across the country, and all the folks here have to go back to your cities, go back to your towns, and go back to your counties, and go back to your states, and pass pro-democracy measures. Like automatic voter registration. Like strong public financing. And like campaign finance disclosures. Emma, lock him up. 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 Now the measures I laid out will do multiple things. First and foremost is to make sure that we have a level playing field. And to make sure we have access to the ballot.
Yes, sir.
Make sure we have coalitions and candidates who look like our communities. Now this is not going to be tough. It's going to be a fight. And if you know the Working Families Party, we're going to go down fighting, scratching, and biting. All right? In 2016, when they went low, we went high.
That's right.
In 2018, this November,
yes, sir,
when they go low, I want you to step on their necks and go to the voting booth.
Vote him out. 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 Vote him out.
Hey! Woo. My name is Erica Taylor, and as Delvon was saying, I'm with the DC Fair Elections Coalition. Now, Delvon was saying, yeah, we got to go local, we got to go small, and you know what? We do, because I live in D.C. You know what that means? I'm tired of not having a vote in Congress, right? I can't vote them out. I don't have that option. So, you know what? But so what we want to do, what we've been doing, we've been fighting back. We've been fighting back. We said, you know, you don't want to give us a vote in Congress? You know what? We'll start small. We'll start local. We'll take over our city council. We're going to say, you know what? How about not having these wealthy white developers who have no connection to the overwhelmingly people of color, who are the predominant population of D.C., running our campaigns? How about small campaign voter public financing? How about we want it? How about we want it? How about we're going to implement it in 2020? And how about it's time for people of color, for women, for the marginalized, for people who haven't had a chance to stand up and step back and fight back. Fight back and vote him out.
Lock him out. Lock him out. Lock him out. Lock him out.
Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. All right. We are almost through our speaking agenda. We've got one more speaker, but I want to go ahead and let you know there's actually going to be an after party here. As some folks may know, the past 2 nights, there's been spontaneous occupations of Lafayette Square. I was here last night. They were here the night before as well. I'm told there's actually a mariachi band here. Again, this is a completely separate group that organized this completely spontaneously via Twitter. It's been amazing to see it happen just out of thin air. So if you want to stick around for that, that will be happening. We're also going to do a quick photo op with everyone with their candles in the air. If you don't have a candle, put your phone in the air. We're not going to do this quite yet. We're going to have everyone turn around and face the park after our next speaker. But first, I'd like to introduce my colleague at People for the American Way, Diallo Brooks, to take us home.
Whose house? Our house. Whose house? Our house. Whose house? Our house. We're in a fight for our lives. We're out here because we believe in democracy. We're out here because we believe in doing what's right. The people's voices will be heard. We are not standing on the sideline and let the tyranny of this president destroy this country. We will stand up.
And fight back.
We will fight back. We will vote. And not just ourselves, we will bring our neighbors, our family members, and all of those that are around us in our communities to make sure that we show up and get rid of the folks that don't want to stand for democracy. This president, empowered by the Republican Congress, is destroying our democracy. We're here to say we're going to fight back against this corruption. This is our country. We've been in this fight before. We know how to win. We're going to do everything we need to win. We're going to mobilize. We're going to be out here in the middle of the night. We're going to be out here when it's snowing. We're going to be out here in 100 degrees. We're going to stand in front of our house. We're going to stand in front of our court. We're going to stand in front of our Congress to make sure democracy is for the people. We will tell folks what the American way is. The American way is about democracy. It's about inclusion. And it's about bringing people together, not pushing us apart. So we will be out here every day. And we will continue to fight. Fight! 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 Whose house? Whose house? All right. Everybody can raise their candles in the air and turn and face that park over there. And if you don't have a candle, get your cell phone, whatever has light on it. There's going to be a photo op. All right.
Lock him up!
All right. Raise him high, raise him proud. All right, y'all. Now, people, we're gonna do a moment of silence here. What do we want? Democracy. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Democracy. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Democracy. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Democracy. When do we want it? Now. All right, we're going to have a moment of silence here to remember all that we love that is at stake. The freedoms we still hold and want to protect. The rights we dreamed of that are being trampled on. The cost of corruption, from mass incarceration and private prisons to crush small businesses and foreclose upon homes. Corruption hurts real people every day, and this administration is celebrating and enhancing the heart. So we're going to take a moment for that, and hold your candles high while we do. Thank you. Woo! All right, we are going to have a song to turn it over to Occupy Lafayette Park. They've been occupying the last 3 nights now. They're going to keep turning out every night. You're going to be here? So before we head out, as long as it takes, 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 as long as it takes.
All right, let's get out there with some energy. Let's sing this together. If you know it, it's called We Shall Not Be Moved. If you don't know it, you can pick it up real fast. All right. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the waters. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the waters. We shall not be moved. Demanding democracy, demanding democracy. We shall not be moved. Demanding democracy, we shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the waters. We shall not be moved. Stopping corruption, we shall not be moved. Stopping corruption, we shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. Trump is not above the law, we shall not be moved. Trump is not above the law, we shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the waters. We shall not be moved. more time. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the waters.